Good morning. It is day 2 of my reading 7 books in 7 days challenge. If you don't know what this is, I have 2 videos on it so far. I have my TBR and I have my day 1 vlog, which are both going to be in the description box below. I've also been doing this for like 5 years, but right now it's like 8:30 and I literally just woke up. I edited my day 1 vlog last night, so I have to, and I exported it, so I have to edit the thumbnail and then upload it onto YouTube and post it and everything like that. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and then I'm going to go downstairs and, drink coffee, eat breakfast. I don't have anything, I don't have any appointments or, specific things to do, or, scheduled things to do. But I do want to, do some editing for some of my college supplemental essays, and I do have some things to do for my internship. So that's what I'm gonna do, throughout the day when I'm not reading. But I think today I do want to start Forging Silver into Stars by Brigid Kemmerer. I feel like today is a good day to do it. I don't really want to read it tomorrow. I want to read something short tomorrow because I'll be prepping for my interview on Thursday, and I definitely want to read, I'm in the mood for a fantasy book right now, so I think I'm going to read Forging Silver into Stars. It says that it's going to rain today, but it's really, really sunny right now, so I don't know if the forecast has changed. But I do hope that it stays sunny out because yesterday was really rainy and gray and drab, so I'm hoping today we can get some brightness and levity. So I think, as I said, I'm gonna make the thumbnail, upload the video, do all the things to get ready for the day, and then actually start Forging Silver into Stars. So I will let you know how that goes. Okay, it's around 10:45 and my video finally uploaded. There was something weird that happened with it where it was wasn't processing, and then when it finally uploaded, the quality was really, really bad, so I had to re-export it from iMovie and then upload it and this whole thing. So that took a little while, so it's already close to 11, and I've only read the prologue of Forging Silver into Stars. So I'm going to quickly make my bed, brush my teeth, get dressed and ready for the day and all that stuff. I'm probably going to read the first 150 pages of the book, and then I'm probably going to try to do some work. I don't know. I'll have to see. I kind of have a little bit of headaches and also stomach aches, so a great combination there. But I'm probably going to try my best to maybe write a supplemental essay today, if not, just revise some other ones, and then I have to keep compiling articles for my internship. So I'm gonna have to do all that, plus read, plus all of the other things that I have to do. So yeah, but I just wanted to check in that my video is finally up, and I am going to start reading the book, and I will check back in once I have some thoughts on the beginning. So it is a little bit after noon. I think it's probably 12:15 or something, and I finally have a reading update to give you. I am on page 146 of Forging Silver into Stars by Brigid Kemmerer. What just flew past me is my bookmark. I actually really love this bookmark. It is a night sky thing, and it actually matches the Under the Dust Jacket cover of the book. So I'm going to take the bookmark out for a second just because it's going to fly all over the place. But yeah, I'm on page 146, so I have about 400 pages left. This book is 542 pages. But honestly, I don't think I'm going to have any trouble finishing this book today, even though I do have quite a few things to do, which I'll touch on in a second. I am absolutely loving this book. I kind of knew I would. I have never really not enjoyed a Brigid Kemmerer book. I didn't love A Vow So Bold and Deadly, but I still liked the book and liked the series overall, but I kind of just knew that this book would most likely end up being my favorite from her just because the plot sounded the most interesting to me, and so far, that is definitely, a true assumption or a correct prediction. So this book takes place 4 years after the end of A Vow So Bold and Deadly, so after the Cursebreaker series ended, and we are following 3 main characters. We have Callan, who is a baker who lives with her younger sister Nora, and previous to the book's beginning, their mother was killed, and they don't really know exactly how she was killed, but there are theories. And in the prologue of this book, her father is also killed. So it's just Callan and Nora, and she's baking. She's trying to make, enough money to sustain her and her sister. The second POV is Jax, who lives with his father. He works in a forge, so he's he's not a forger in forgery, but he's I don't know what it's called, a blacksmith? Is that what it's called? I can't think of the specific terminology. But that's what he's doing, and there is disability rep in this book because Jax actually lost his foot in an accident that happened before the book's starting, and so there's representation in that. I know a lot of people were drawn to the Cursebreaker series because there was disability rep in that, because one of the main characters in that series had cerebral palsy, so there's also some disability rep in this story as well. So we have Jax and Callan and they're best friends, and they live in a town called, I want to say Briarcliff, but I might just be saying that because that's a town near where I live. Briarlock, okay, yeah, I don't know why I was confusing it. We have those 2 characters, and then we have Tycho, who's a character that was introduced in the original trilogy, and he is the king's courier, all that sort of stuff. And there's a lot of magic, and there's things happening. I really don't want to spoil it because I went into it knowing essentially nothing, and I'm really, really enjoying it so far. Also, I don't really know what to say, to spoil the Cursebreaker series, and the plot in this book isn't really, there's not much of a plot, but I honestly don't mind that because I love the characters, and I love the writing and the world, and everything. I love the way Brigid Kemmerer writes her fantasy worlds. I think it is, I've said this before, I think if you're new to fantasy, you'll really enjoy it because you're not just thrust into this world that you are unfamiliar with. It really takes time to explain the world, and it's complex without being confusing or convoluted, which I really, really enjoy. And then also, it's great for seasoned fantasy readers like myself because there is a lot of intricacy in the world and things to pick out, but again, it never feels like she's trying to bite off more than she can chew, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this book. I absolutely love the writing. It takes place kind of in the winter, so there's a lot of snowy vibes, and I love all the settings in this book. We obviously see the bakery that Callan lives in / works at. We see the forge that Jax is at. Both of the palaces, obviously, that Tycho's at, and Tycho is actually doing a lot of journeying in this book, so we see a bunch of different places from his POV. But so far, yeah, I honestly have no complaints with this book. I think the POVs are balanced really, really, really well. And I think, again, even though the plot is not there's a subtle plot so far, and it's really interesting, but it's mostly focused on the characters so far. I'm sure that as the story continues, we're going to get more of a plot, but I really like that we're really setting up the characters first and getting to know them and getting to know the world and kind of as it's changed since the end of A Vow So Bold and Deadly. I wouldn't say you need to read the Cursebreaker series to enjoy this book, but there definitely are a lot of spoilers, so if you have no interest in the Cursebreaker series, you can definitely read this one, but if you do want to read that series at some point, I would definitely recommend reading it before Forging Silver into Stars. But I'm really excited to continue on with the book, and I don't know what is going to happen next. I don't know if there's going to be a big plot thing, or if it's just going to, be more of an undertone to the character-driven aspect of the book, but I'm really excited to continue and see how this book progresses. But as I said, I do have some stuff to do today. I don't have I think I said this earlier, I don't have any specific appointments or things that need to be done technically, but I just have a bunch of different tasks that I want to / have to do. So that's really what most of my days are just fulfilling different tasks for different things, and obviously I'm a rising senior in high school, so I have a lot of college stuff to deal with, and writing supplemental essays, and editing them, and doing stuff for the Common App, and all of that, I have to do something for I have to print out a bunch of articles for my internship, and I also have to get my grandmother's groceries and bring them to her, so I have to do that. I also have to I have to drop off, I'm going with my mom, I have to drop off my orthotics to my podiatrist because they're all worn and I need new, like, casings for them. Not casings, but coverings. So I have to do that, and I also have to eat. I'm not really that hungry right now because I did have breakfast. I usually don't really have breakfast because I'm not that hungry in the morning usually, but I did eat this morning, probably because I was stressed out because my video wouldn't upload, but now that that's uploaded, I don't really feel too anxious. And I'm going to try to get some productive work done before I eat. Then I'm going to eat and probably read a little bit more of the book, or maybe I'll do it in a different order, but that is for future me to decide. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little break from reading, but I will check back in once I have gotten farther into the book, and I'm really excited to see what happens next, so stay tuned. I will let you know. It is many hours later. I ran a bunch of errands with my mom. We got my grandmother's groceries and brought them to her. Then we got our own groceries, and we got our lunch and we ate it. But I also have a reading update for you. I am close to 300 pages into Forging Silver into Stars, and I'm still really enjoying this book. I think that the pacing is a bit slow. Like, this book is definitely pretty slow going. There's a lot of build-up, which I understand since this is a long book, and it's also the first book in a trilogy, so I get why there needs to be a lot of setup in the beginning of this story, but I do think it could be a little bit quicker, and I do wish that the pacing would pick up a little bit, but I have a feeling that since I'm now a little over halfway through the book in the second half, I feel like things will get a lot more intense and the plot will definitely pick up a lot more, but the last 150 pages-ish that I read were, again, pretty character-driven. There were, progressions in the plot, but again, it's just a lot of setup for this one plot point that I feel like is to come pretty soon. But we got a lot of romance development, which is really interesting. I feel like the characters are pretty solid right now. Obviously, they have, like, a lot, like, there's going to be a lot more development in this book and in the next two books in the series, but I feel like, we've got their personalities down and everything, and now we're moving on to some of the romance subplots, which I think is really interesting. And I like that this book doesn't just focus on the three main characters. We also get a lot of different side characters. We do see some of the characters from the original trilogy, which is really fun and interesting, but we also get, like, Callan's younger sister Nora. We get Jax's father, who is not the best person. Definitely trigger warnings for alcoholism and, mental and physical abuse in this book. But we also get some of the different lords. So we have Lord Alec is one of the characters. There is obviously the characters from the original series. There's some Scravers, which are a creature, some like weird monster creature thing. And yeah, it's just really, really interesting. I think this is definitely more high fantasy than the Cursebreaker series because all the characters in this series are from, the world of this series, but, one of the main characters in the original trilogy, Harper, was from Washington, D.C., so there was a little bit of mixing between our world and this fantasy world, but since all the characters here, have only known this fantasy world, it's definitely more high fantasy, even though there are small mentions of our world, because Harper's brother Jake is, like, a pretty prevalent side character in the story. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this book. I'm really enjoying the romance aspect, and I love Brigid Kemmerer's writing. It's just, I can picture everything so easily with her writing. I never feel like I'm confused or I don't know where a certain thing is taking place. I really, really love this book right now, and even though those last 150 pages were a little bit slower than I hoped, I feel like, as I said, the rest of this book will definitely be pretty, if not action-packed, just more plot-driven, since we already have a lot of character stuff set up and romance stuff. I'm excited to see how the plot is going to unfold from here. Oh, but also the last thing I wanted to mention is there's like this secret faction / secret society in this book called the Truthbringers, which is really interesting also. They kind of are dealing with messages, and Jax and Callan are receiving silvers, which is obviously the currency in this world. in exchange for, you know, all these messages and things, and I think that's really interesting. And I also really love how Jax and Callan both have things that they're really passionate about. Obviously, Callan is really passionate about her bakery and all of that, and Jax, you know, loves being in the forge and being a blacksmith and all of that sort of stuff. So I like that they have determination. Like, they feel like real people, even though this is a fantasy book, even though it's a fictional book. I like that they feel like real people and they have lives, like, outside of this book. Like, it doesn't feel like they're just contained to this book. So I really love that. I love the way Brigid Kemmerer writes her characters, and yeah, I'm super excited to see what happens in the rest of this book. I'll probably finish it in, like, another 2 sittings. I'll probably read, like, another 150 pages before dinner and then finish it afterwards. But right now I'm going to try to do some work, either essays or something for my internship, so I'm going to go do that and maybe have a snack because I'm getting a little bit hungry right now, and I am super excited for the Only Murders in the Building season finale, which is coming, or is out now, but I'm waiting to watch it till tonight with my family, so that should be really fun. So yes, I will see you once I have another reading update, and I'll let you know how the book is going. Hello, it is once again that time of day when the lighting just keeps getting worse, but I do have a quick reading update. I'm going to try to do this quickly because I'm already 8 minutes late for Jeopardy! Plus we're going to watch Wheel of Fortune, and Celebrity Wheel of Fortune is on tonight, so I wanted to do this before all of those because I'm going to be preoccupied watching those with my family and eating dinner. I read about 150 more pages of Forging Silver into Stars, and I'm still really enjoying it. Even though the plot didn't pick up a ton, I feel like I'm enjoying it a lot more than I was in the previous 150 pages. I think the character dynamics are getting a lot more interesting. The romances are, you know, developing and becoming more intriguing and compelling. And I just think that even though the plot hasn't sped up a lot, I think in these last 100 pages it's going to, just because of some of the things that have happened in the, like, most recent chapters that I read. But I think even though the plot didn't quicken that much in what I last read, I still felt like I was more engaged. Maybe I was just had stuff on my mind when I was reading earlier, or maybe I just wasn't into that particular section of the book that much, but I think it got a lot better since that last reading session. I do wish we got to see a little bit more of Jax and Callan as friends, because that's how they were introduced in the beginning of the book, and they're kind of having, like, a small falling out in, like, the last 300 pages or whatever, so they haven't been as close as they were in the very beginning of the story, so I kind of want that to make a resurgence, I guess. But yeah, I'm still really enjoying it. I think depending on how these last 100 pages are gonna go, it could either be a 4 or a 5-star book, so I'm really excited about that, and I love all the political maneuverings and, you know, the small plot developments and all that stuff. It's just a really solid book so far. I've always found that with Brigid Kemmerer's books, and I think this is probably my favorite one that I've read so far, so that's really exciting, and I'm hoping that these last 100 pages are just amazing, and that the ending makes me want to bump it up to 5 stars. So we will see. I'm very optimistic about that. But I'm gonna go eat dinner because I'm super hungry. I've been, like, snacking since I ate lunch because I've just been really hungry. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that, and then we're gonna watch TV, and I'll finish the book, and I'll check in after that. So I will see you then. I know I don't look the best right now because I just had a shower and my hair is still drying. I don't know why my hair takes like a year and a day to dry every single day, but whatever that is. Besides the point, it is like 9:15 and I just finished Forging Silver into Stars by Brigid Kemmerer. Those last 100 pages were very action-packed. There was so much going on, and it was really climactic, and I loved all of the plot twists, and they weren't even necessarily twists, but it was just, there was a lot of action. There was a lot of stuff going on, and a lot of moving parts. There were pretty short chapters, so I was kind of breezing through it. And I really loved the ending of the book, the epilogue especially, kind of left us on a cliffhanger, so I'm super excited to see where the next book is going to go. I like the way that Brigid Kemmerer writes her cliffhangers, because a lot of the times when I'll read first books or second books or third books in a series where there is a cliffhanger, it feels like this, like the story that we just spent all this time on is incomplete. But with Brigid Kemmerer, I feel like her stories are complete, and then there's just a little bit that will tease you into picking up the next book. And I really love how she does that and that tactic that she employs. So I immensely enjoyed this book and the ending. I do feel like one of the 3 POV characters was done a little bit dirty. I don't want to spoil anything, obviously, but also they did not die, this character. But I just feel like their ending compared to the other 2 was a little bit, not lackluster, but I felt bad for them. Like, I felt like they deserved a better ending, and there was a little bit of hope at the end, but I still felt like they deserved a little bit more because they were my favorite character in the book. So that was a little bit disappointing, but I have faith that Brigid Kemmerer will redeem this character or give them a better, like, give them more in the next 2 books in the series. But I really enjoyed all the characters in this story. Callan, Jax, Tycho, all the side characters also, which I mentioned earlier. I do wish that we got a little bit more of Harper, because we did get quite a bit of Gray and Liamara and even Ren, but I feel like Harper was only in 1 or 2 scenes, and she was probably my favorite character from the original trilogy, so I'm hoping we see more of her in the upcoming books. But I don't know what to rate this book. I'm probably going to sit on it until maybe tomorrow, but right now I'm feeling a 4.5. I might wake up in the morning and decide that it's a 5 stars, but I feel like right now 4.5 is good because I really loved the book, but I don't know if this is like an all-time favorite for me. I have to see, I have to mull over it a little bit because I literally just finished the book like 5 minutes ago. But I did really, really love this book. I thought it was the writing was great, the characters were really intriguing, the plot was really good, even though it was a little bit slow. That's the only thing that's detracting from my overall enjoyment of the story is the plot. It was a little bit slow up until the end. But overall, a really, really solid story, a great fantasy. I loved this return to the Cursebreakers world. I love Brigid Kemmerer's books, and I can't wait for Defend the Dawn, which comes out in September, so next month, actually, less than a month away. So I'm really excited for that book and to see how that series continues, and also to see how this one continues in the summer of next year. But that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to go watch the Only Murders in the Building finale. Celebrity Wheel of Fortune was supposed to be on tonight, but it wasn't, so that's why I read a little bit earlier than I thought I would be reading. But yeah, that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and all my social media links are in the description box below, and I will see you tomorrow for day 3. Bye!